Hi, I'm Dwayne Brown. Tonight on KPBS Evening Edition, San Diego's mayor-elect lays out his plan for the police and fire departments. It includes more money for both of them. And could the convention center expansion downtown be sunk literally after just a few decades? We take a closer look in a KPBS investigative report.
And I'm Peggy Pico. Also tonight, we'll find out how a surge in homeless college students and veterans could impact winter shelters. Plus, we'll show you a new internet tool that uses social media to accurately predict everything from disease outbreaks to election outcomes.
You've probably heard about Julian's apples and its pies, but do you know anything about its history? Ken Kramer will serve up a slice. KPBS Evening Edition starts now.
KPBS Evening Edition is made possible by Joan and Erwin Jacobs and by
San Diego Mayor-elect Bob Filner says Fire Chief Javier Mainar and Police Chief William Lansdowne will remain on the job when Filner begins his administration next month. And he's planning to spend millions of public safety dollars in the coming months. KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr joins us from the News Center. Did Filner say where the money would come from, Katie?
Well, he says he'll ask the city council to take $22 million from San Diego's liability fund to pay for the public safety upgrades. The money is part of a settlement paid to the city by SDGE for damages related to the 2007 wildfires. It would be used for a new police communication system and to build a new fire station, among other things. Filner says this will help the departments restore services after years of budget cuts.
The police officers and to the same extent the firefighters have gone from proactive policing and community policing to cross-your-fingers policing. They cross their fingers that while they're answering a call or an incident, that nothing worse occurs while they're there. And we have got to end that.
And, Katie, what is the liability fund actually used for?
Well, it's a reserve fund that the city uses to pay off lawsuit settlements. Current Mayor Jerry Sanders had ordered the settlement money be deposited into that account. Councilwoman Marty Emerald supports Filner's idea to take the money from the liability fund. She says upgrading public safety could reduce the number of lawsuits filed against the city in the first place.
So I am so thrilled that our next mayor, Bob Filner, is taking this up as one of his first acts as mayor to insist that we move that money out of the liability fund and begin to cut our liability. We begin to cut our city liability by offering better public safety.
Filner will need the city council's approval to use the money. He'll be sworn into office on December 3rd.
KPBS Metro reporter Katie Orr. Republican Steve Dannon has conceded the race for county supervisor in the 3rd District. It was the first open seat in more than 15 years. Democrat Dave Roberts won by nearly 2,800 votes.
I really wanted to begin the transition. I think the voters have spoken, and now they're looking to begin a transition process. I'll take office on January 7th, and I'm really excited. The very first call I made was home to tell my spouse and kids that their dad was now the supervisor-elect, so we're all very excited.
Roberts was endorsed by outgoing supervisor Pam Slater-Price. Former mayoral candidate Nathan Fletcher says he's going to work for Qualcomm after his state assembly term ends next month. Fletcher will be the company's senior director of corporate development. A San Diego landmark slated for a $500 million expansion may be partially underwater by 2050, and we don't mean financially. KPBS investigative reporter Amitha Sharma explains.
The planned expansion of the San Diego Convention Center will include almost 1 million additional square feet of space and cost $500 million. It will have more room for meetings, exhibitions, a ballroom, and retail outlets. The people who pushed for the larger venue believe it will lure major conventions to San Diego.
All of this could be irrelevant. That's because the expanded version of the convention center could be inundated with seawater by mid-century if climate change predictions are accurate.
Your mother told you hope for the best and plan for the worst.
San Diego Port Commissioner Scott Peters says maps making the rounds at the agency show sea levels climbing anywhere between 18 inches and 4 feet along the tide line by 2050.
Look, if we're going to make an investment like this on our waterfront, we need to be ready for sea level rise. It would not be smart to not consider this as we go forward.
But the comments made by Peters, who appears headed for Congress, are contradicted by the port's own official position that seems to give the agency an out. Its environmental impact report was based on sea level data available as of December 2010. That's when the notice to prepare the environmental report was issued. At that time, state information showed the convention center expansion above sea level. The maps showing it underwater were done in 2011. Also, the port says that by law, an environmental report, quote, is not required to consider the impacts of future environmental conditions such as sea level rise on a proposed project. Yet, Port Commissioner Dan Malcolm says the sea level rise maps are being considered for another project, the 556-acre development for Chula Vista's shoreline along San Diego Bay.
Various environmental stakeholders looked at the maps, used them, determined that these draft maps were substantially different than the inundation maps that were done for the Chula Vista Bayfront Master Plan previously several years ago. And then based upon that determination, they required some changes be made at the last minute to the Chula Vista Bayfront Master Plan, including some additional monitoring, including potentially some future remediation actions dependent on the results of that monitoring.
Malcolm is frustrated that the sea level rise maps for Chula Vista are being taken into account before the port's full commission has examined them and concluded the science is valid.
Healthy skepticism in science is a good thing. You know, and again, anyone out there that goes on the internet, there are thousands and thousands of articles that global warming is real, that global warming is not real, that the sea level is going to rise, that it's not going to rise, that it's going to be absolute disaster, that it isn't going to be disaster.
The maps predicting sea level rise for waterfront development were prepared by port contractor Environ, using research data from local scientists. Malcolm says he's been assured by port officials the maps will go before the full commission for discussion. If commissioners accept the map, he says there will be little choice but to change course.
If this is science, then how can we allow a development to occur where we are showing there's going to be sea level rise and inundation? It doesn't make any logical sense.
Allowing the development anyway could require massive protection measures with a huge price tag.
I won't even speculate as to how many billions of dollars will ultimately be required to protect our cities and our tidelands from sea level rise and water damage that would result from that.
Port Commissioner Lee Burdick is chairwoman of the Environmental Advisory Committee and Climate Action Plan Working Group. She says the extent of potential flood risk along the tide line is alarming far beyond the convention center project if public agencies do nothing.
If we were not to react and plan for sea level rise, clearly the South Bay, Chula Vista, Imperial Beach, the Silver Strand, and Coronado are particularly vulnerable. In the city of San Diego, we are vulnerable along Harbor Island and the airport. If you looked at New York LaGuardia Airport, which is very close to the water tide line in New York, it was a swamp. It was a lake after Superstorm Sandy, and we certainly want to protect San Diego's important regional transportation assets from suffering that.
Despite knowing the convention center expansion could be underwater in 2050, the Port Commission voted unanimously in September to move forward using the old data.
KPBS investigative reporter Amitha Sharma. This week, commissioners decided to hold a retreat on how to handle climate change. San Diego's temporary winter homeless shelter opens downtown on Monday. As Peggy Pico explains, there are not enough beds for the county's nearly 10,000 homeless people as the temperatures begin to drop.
On any given night, about half of our county's homeless, roughly 5,000 men, women, and children, spend the night on the streets. And a recent report finds many of San Diego's new homeless are college-educated and veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder. Here to talk about what's being done for the unsheltered is Bob McElroy, CEO of the Alpha Project. Bob, thanks so much for joining us. The Alpha Project's temporary winter shelter was supposed to open on Monday, but it's been delayed. When will it open, and how many beds will you have?
We are saying our prayers it will be open before Thanksgiving. So there's a lot of work that's got to be done, but we're hoping and praying.
And how many beds?
225.
Of those beds, how many are designated for women, children, things, you know, they're segregated?
65 women. We have 80 registered right now, and if they all show up on opening day, we're going to get them all in there. Women, disabled, and seniors take priority, and wheelchairs accessible.
And we're looking at some video of last year's shelter. It looks like it's all one big open room. You're expecting, I believe, like 800 people to go through this year's shelter over the next 4 months, and there's already a waiting list to get in. How do you prioritize who gets to be inside that tent?
Well, so we take the ladies and disabled and seniors first. We transition people into supportive housing programs, transitional housing programs. Well, we'll get probably 5 or 6 pregnant young ladies in there. We try and reconnect them with their families. We put them on buses and send them home. So it's a place where people are transitioning through. Then it's not a permanent facility for them. It's 120 days, and we maximize that 120 days.
You also have, I just want you to briefly review the rules for people, because I remember last year when I visited, there are some rules there as far as who, alcohol, drugs, things like that.
Well, we have a zero tolerance with that. We also understand we don't drug test people when they come in the gate. You know, we understand there are, people are under the influence, but they need to behave themselves, stay in their own business, don't bother other people. We'll probably have 30 or 40 cats and dogs in the facility too. We have homeless cats and dogs there, and as long as everybody minds their own business and lives in peace and harmony, they're welcome there.
Good rules for everybody,
yeah,
in and outside of the shelter. Let me ask you this, for those people who don't get in, so a lot of people won't get in, how do you help those people who are homeless?
Well, every night we do a bed check at 8 o'clock. You have to physically be on your bed. We count everybody's, make sure everybody's assigned to that bed is on that bed, and then we'll have a lottery outside. There'll be 50 to 60 people standing outside the gate every night. We'll do a lottery based on their disability.
And you'll hand out blankets and plastic to those who actually don't get in, right?
Yeah, we don't turn anybody away without give them some resources, hygiene packs. And plastic is a big deal. You can have all the blankets in the world. If they get wet, you're gonna have hypothermia. So plastic bags people can donate to us, bring them down, and we really encourage people to come down.
Okay, let me briefly get to a recent report from the Regional Task Force on the county's homeless. There were a few surprising trends, including 32% of the homeless they counted recently are college educated here in San Diego, 18% are veterans, many of those with PTSD, and 59% of all of the county's unsheltered people have some form of mental illness. First of all, is this what you're seeing as well? Are you seeing a surge?
Those numbers are all low, too. It's about 25% veterans, and 90% are trapped in some form of mental illness that self-medicate with drugs and alcohol. I mean, crazy people like me, we don't think we're crazy, and so we don't, these are self-reported. So the numbers are always higher. They also count in January when most people are sheltered. So
they count from the shelters. What do you think is behind this? I was surprised to see the number of college-educated students or young people rising in the homeless. What do you count? What do you think that's about?
We've seen that number. I've been working with the police department about that. We don't know where they're coming from. We know that some of them are spillover from the Occupy San Diego thing they did down at the concourse, and they were kind of caught up in the old hippie thing, but where I came from in the 60s, the free pizza and making a statement, but they haven't left, and they stand out. Most of them are white kids and younger. They stand out in our neighborhood. They're not the traditional homeless population, and they're being victimized, especially the young ladies.
Well, I'd like to talk more about it, but we are out of time, so folks can find out more about this on our website. Bob McElroy, CEO of the Alpha Project, thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you. God bless.
San Diego Gas and Electric has launched a new computer system. It's designed to quickly respond to power outages and restore customers' electricity faster than ever before.
Hotline water energized 12 kV circuit 396.
Dennis Glow is tracking his utility crew's status and giving them permission to repair a leaky transformer.
Do necessary work, then test re-energized station, restoring all service.
He's using new smart grid technology to speed up detection of power outages and restore customers' electricity even before they call in to complain about it.
We've had people on scene to known outages because the smart meter had communicated that to us prior to a customer even notifying us.
Daniel Zaragoza is the man in charge of SDGEs Mission Control Center. It's a high-security facility, rarely seen by the public, overlooking Mission Valley near Qualcomm Stadium. This is where the utility's power grid for more than 1 million customers is operated.
Weather is the #1 influence on a power system. If it's hot, you have consumption that goes up.
And strong gusty winds can cause power outages too. Zaragoza and his 28 operators at the control center are now using advanced computer systems to track multiple outages and pinpoint their exact location as they occur.
It provides us real-time information.
The utility has installed approximately 1.4 million smart meters throughout San Diego County. They send remote alerts back to the control center within seconds of an outage. Previously, grid operators had to rely on customers to report a problem. If it happened late at night or in a remote location, it delayed response time. The utility used its remote control devices, you may recall, to power San Diego back up after the 2011 blackout. Zaragoza says this new technology should bolster its capabilities to respond more quickly during another widespread event.
It gives us more specific information from our entire service territory of what areas are being affected and allow us to make decisions on where we need to prioritize to get customers back in service.
The new system has been up for about a month, but it's too soon to say how much response time will improve during an outage. A long fight over a proposed gravel quarry near Fallbrook is over tonight. The Pechanga Band of Luiseño Indians is buying the site for $3 million. The tribe will also pay about $17 million to settle a dispute with Granite Construction, the company behind the mine proposal. The deal ends a 7-year fight between Granite and the mine's opponents, including neighbors in Fallbrook and Temecula. San Diego State researchers run a field lab near the site, and the Pechanga Indians say the land is spiritually important. Liberty Station is growing in Point Loma with the opening of 8 newly renovated buildings and 14 tenants. Ranging from art galleries to small design firms, they're moving into the buildings originally designed as barracks for the Naval Training Center.
Just look at these buildings here. There is nothing else like this in San Diego. And thankfully our city and the community had the foresight to preserve these buildings and just not come in and bulldoze them.
11 buildings are still scheduled for renovation. The NTC Foundation says it's the largest historical preservation project in San Diego. A disappointment for a little girl in San Diego has led to a big settlement for a New Jersey company. San Diego's city and district attorney filed a consumer protection suit against Horizon USA because of its Disney Princess jewelry kit. A local woman bought it for her daughter, but when they opened it, they found the kit was mostly empty. DA Bonnie Dumanis says the customers got gypped. Horizon will pay $225,000 in costs and penalties without admitting wrongdoing.
I'm Gwen Eiffel on the next News Hour. What humans can learn from dolphins about sleep. Plus the new senator from Maine, Independent Angus King. That's Thursday on the PBS News Hour.
San Diego State researchers have developed a new computer program using social media to predict everything from armed conflicts to election results. Peggy Pico finds out how it compares to other crystal balls.
San Diego State researchers collected data from Twitter, Facebook, and websites to accurately predict the outcome of the most recent presidential election. And that's not all. Joining me to talk about how they use social media to predict the future are my guests, Dr. Deepak Gupta, Distinguished Professor of Political Science, and Dr. Ming So, Professor of Geography at SDSU, both of you. Thank you so much for being here. Professor Gupta, can you give us an overview sort of how this Mapping Ideas project works?
You know, if you think about it, ideas spread through the world, and they always take definite paths from fashion to political extremism. For ideas for good or bad, they spread through the world. This project is designed to capture how and why they spread, and what does it mean for the rest of us.
And Dr. So your research, you were able to capture this via, well, first, you were able to capture it via social media, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what types of social media?
We use Twitter currently because Twitter is the most open access format. We can write a program to access hundreds of thousands of tweets every single hours without the program. Yeah.
And bringing you lots of data, and part of that data that you used it to track and predict the spread of whooping cough this past fall here in 2012 across the nation. So let's take a look at this map that you actually were able to produce because of it. What are we looking at right now?
So the project collected over 1,000 websites containing the whooping cough, the keyword, and we are aggregate those websites using their geolocation. So now you see on the map is the red color indicate the website is aggregate in the city, which is talking about whooping cough. So you can say that this city is actually very intensive discussion about the topic of whooping cough. And we're realizing that when we change the week, every week, different attention will fall in. So you can see 1 week, maybe the CDC announced the whooping cough alert. Everybody is talking about whooping cough in every city, but maybe the Washington State, there's a local whooping cough outbreak, and the local media were emphasizing that.
So you were able to trend, not only just trend where what the discussion was, but there were actual cases going on there. But Dr. Gupta, what other types of activities can you track? And what I'm thinking of is hate speech, terrorism, maybe the spring uprising. Is this something that could track that?
Oh, absolutely. We were tracking, for instance, when this preacher said that he was going to burn Quran, the book Quran, and immediately it spread like wildfire. So we were tracking who were most interested in this, and we found out that there was a spot in Topeka, Kansas, where there was a hot spot. We wanted to know why, and we found out that there was another small church that had started, they were saying that they were going to do the same thing. So we can understand, for instance, when Osama bin Laden was killed, you could see it's lighting up in so many parts. During the Arab Spring, you could see the countries that are being affected, where people are talking about these issues.
One of the goals of this project, I understand, is to be able to sort of predict how certain regions will accept the introduction of new ideas. So, Dr. So, let me start with you. Are you able to do that, either politically or how does that work, that you could predict a certain region, let's say, like Kansas, might be more open?
What we do is, the reason the value is we can correlate it to the data we collect from the Twitter, social media webpage, to the actual census data. So we don't know that this city, the population profile, the racial or gender profile, and we have found a correlation between the answer opinion with their profile. So that's why we try to create a model.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time, and there's a lot more information on our website, kpbs.org. So Dr. Deepak Gupta and Dr. Ming So, thanks so much for giving us a little insight of what you do.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thanksgiving is just a week away, and you might be getting ready to enjoy some apple pie from Julian. Tonight, Ken Kramer gives us a look at a little of the town's history.
So here's my question for you. Do you think this man is handsome? Put yourself back in like 1870. What do you think? Handsome guy? His name, by the way, was Drury. Kind of hard to say, Drury Bailey, but he was a master of good timing.
Drury was right there where the stars were all aligned, and he was the man of the moment.
Yes, the man of the moment. He is responsible for this place, a little town in the mountains east of San Diego. Mr. Drury Bailey came out here from Georgia after the Civil War, historian David Lewis says.
The story goes that he got here and he said, "Man, I like this place, boys, I want to stay."
I want to stay here, he said, and he said that to, among others, his cousin Mike. Here's Mike. Mike, it was said, was more handsome. I don't know, you can decide, but that's what people thought anyway, and that's what Drury thought, and that's important, you see, because Drury turned out to be an important guy here.
Ultimately, he ended up here in this mountain valley and ended up founding the town.
Yes, he did. Drury founded the town and probably could have named it Drury or Drury Bailey Town, but no, he decided instead to name it for cousin Mike. And why?
The romantic version is that Mike was the handsomest man in camp, and that's why I got named that.
Drury thought, Mike's more handsome. I'm going to name this town for him. And so he did, and that's why today this place in the mountains is named for Mike. Mike Julian was his name. I don't know who was more handsome, but it's a lot easier name to say than Drury Bailey, don't you think?
Julian kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Well, yes, when you consider the alternative, that certainly is a fact about San Diego.
And if you want to see more of Ken's stories about San Diego, his show airs tonight and every Thursday night at 8 right here on KPBS. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. You have a great night.